Right, click the links. Join the channel here over at Subscribe mailbox. If you want to mail me some comics. So Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. There's a messaging in there about oil and I don't know, global warming or something stupid like that. And honestly, they should have a little Epstein Island message in there too, but I guess Hollywood doesn't quite have the balls for that. Gets a 36% initial score on Rotten Tomatoes, so good for you. I guess you didn't get the bribery or the blackmail money in. So Aquaman, sinking in red ink. The thing with superhero movies is that partially they've run their course. They've been around. I mean, they've been around since the 70s, really, but they really kind of had their resurgence with the first Iron Man. Kind of run their course, but mostly been effed in the A by the woke Weinsteins in Hollywood. First of all, let me say that diversity doesn't sell movies. It destroys the believability of movies. And if you're some kind of left-wing soy boy who accidentally clicked on this, then you probably want to click off and unsubscribe because you're not going to be happy with this channel. So it's all related to the cancer of swapping characters, and people are sick of it. Can I get some movies with just the fair-skinned, light-eyed people of the light? The beautiful people who look like you and me, or rather skinnier versions of you and me, but you get what I'm trying to say. Can I get those kind of movies? Can I see movies that uplift and empower my beautiful tribe of European people? See, we can talk like assholes just like they do, because every movie is just usually going to be some variation of blonde man bad and non-European man good, even to the extent where they have to dye people's hair colored blonde to let you know who the bad guy is. Can we at least get fair treatment from the demons in Hollywood? No, that's not going to happen. So Hollywood, what the future of Hollywood is, I don't know, because they're not turning this around. And I know it sounds crazy to say, yeah, these big companies are in deep trouble. Tell me how they turn these movies around. I'd love to hear your suggestion. I mean, we know how we turn these movies around. We just stop with all this woke cancer, and the idiots in the media and the social media would lose their mind for 6 months, a year, and you just commit to it. You just commit to making fun movies and start dialing back the diversity and the feminism and all that kind of stuff. And you'd have such a financial success. I mean, you'd be printing money. And you look at these soy boy people who are just losing their minds on social media about the inclusion. It's not diverse and inclusive. And it's like, well, yeah, those movies were losing money. Even Larry Fink at BlackRock couldn't use your mutual fund money to hold those movies up. At some point, they have to make money, and they're definitely not, which is fan-frickin-tastic to see. Anyway, both Marvel and DC have run out of steam, and they're going to be rebooting things next year, and James Gunn switched around from Marvel to DC, whatever. I think Guardians 3, even Guardians 3 ran out of steam, where it made money, but when you factor in Biden's inflation... Thanks, Federal Reserve. I think it didn't do as well as they were expecting it to do. So in this case, with Aquaman, if they're going to reboot everything, why bother watching? Why would you go spend, at least in this area, $15 to go watch? Jason Momoa said in an interview that they were going to replace him. I mean, reading between the lines in his interview, he was saying that they were going to replace him probably because the movie was going to bomb. So he said he wanted to be in future Aquaman, but it wasn't up to him because the movie would have to be a massive success, like over $1 billion, and it's projected to not do well. Hey, anything could happen. So he's moving on to, I think, Lobo, which honestly, he's more that character than Aquaman. Aquaman should be, I don't know, something else, but he does look like a Lobo character. He might be able to pull that off better than this. And the bigger issue is just nobody cares about the superhero genre. Oh, and I guess there's Amber Heard. How much is Amber Heard an issue for Hollywood? I don't think it's that big a deal. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, like, yeah, there's a subset of the audience, but they're all such like Coomer consumers addicted to Hollywood kind of crap that I don't think they'd boycott a movie because they really love their bread and circuses. I mean, there's a lot of soy boy pussies on social media who are really into these silly. I can't say the R word. I really need to say the R word. These kind of Coomer movies. The thing is, the left wing soy kids won't admit it, but woke diversity and feminism killed the genre. But they get triggered when people like us say it. There's this lowering tide lowers all boats effect, where you have the vagina-powered Marvels with Brie Larson and her two forgettable sidekicks, or super soy cuck Ezra Miller, or the old fat and ugly Eternals. And people look at all those movies. God, what three bad examples? And there's probably more I can't even think about because they're in and out of or X-Women was the other one. It was a massive bomb. The superhero movies, you shouldn't have bombs like that to that extent, where they look like, what are you doing here? I mean, imagine telling a director and a producer from the 70s and 80s and showing them something like the Eternals or the Marvels and saying, yeah, this is going to, 40 years later, we're going to be making movies like this. And they'd be looking at you like, do they make money? No. Then why do you keep making them? Well, anyway, if you look at those kind of movies, you're like, why? People lose faith in all the movies. It's not just the bad ones when half the movies that are coming out, or Shang-Chi was another one, or Black Widow was another one, Black Adam with The Rock, I think, was another bomb. You just look at the whole genre, like, I'm not spending $15 to go to a theater, and the odds are 50-50. It's going to be something that's just, some woke feminist abortion. So it's, you stay home, people talking about this movie on Twitter, they're like, yeah, this is a streaming movie. I look at this and I go like, yeah, this is a movie you go sail the high seas for. There's no need to pay Paramount or Disney or whoever is streaming this kind of thing. Anyway, the people making movies are more interested in virtue signaling that they've got a gay interracial dad who bought a baby to cross-dress for Twitter points than make a good movie. They have these scenes in the background that they can edit out for the Middle East and China. And I always raise my hand and go, can we get those edited version? We don't want all that gay stuff either. Oh, you istophobe, but China's not istophobic? Oh, it's just like cultural preferences or something. I identify as Chinese? Can I get Anyway, so go back to Iron Man 2008, which I was thinking about this, like, I enjoyed those movies. What was that, 15 years ago? Watching them with a couple of superhero comic book nerd buddies, they were fun. It wasn't because we liked the comic books. They were just fun, forgettable, silly movies. Now movies I feel very self-aware watching them, and it's not like I'm aging out of movies because I was too old to be watching comic book movies even back then. It's like once you're over 13, you know what I mean? It's just. I'm very aware that these movies, there's no willing suspension of disbelief anymore. They just got woker and woker, and you just realize you're watching a movie because it goes from, like, Iron Man 2008 was a really good superhero movie for what it was. It wasn't preachy. And then I remember when Wolverine came out, was it the last Wolverine movie? And there's a bunch of blonde kids in a limo acting like jackasses, and then there's like an immigration store. It's like, this is and people like that movie. I didn't. I'm thinking thinking about that and like, this is just propaganda. And that's what like, you see something like the Marvels, like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is who is this for? Listen, Hugo Boss, istophobic. Okay. For the sake of argument, assume that's true. He admitted it. We got him. Okay. Assume it's all true that there's millions of these Hugo Boss people who don't want to see these movies. Total rational argument there. But they're not seeing the movies. And like, you calling them Hugo Boss does not get them in the theater. You're losing money on these movies. That one was like $200 million loss. What's your answer for that? Well, we're refining the audience. You're in a business. You have to make money. You're spending $200 million, $250 million for that movie, and you're losing $200 million. Eventually, you're going to run out of money. Anyway, so Iron Man 2008, what a great film. I would look at what you did there to get the ball rolling. Now, what I would do is take a movie like that and remove all the POC characters. And hear me out before you start. I'm sure there's no soy boy, SJW, panty sniffing perverts listening to this. The soy boys who make movies now can't. They can't treat pox as equals. They have to make them Mary Sue's. Otherwise, there's some Frankfurt School nonsense about systemic, harmful stereotypes of marginalized, oppressed peoples, of soy, disenfranchised, diversity, and gayness or whatever. They just can't write pox characters without turning them Mary Sue. So the simple solution is just remove them from the story. I don't know why Hollywood hasn't considered that idea. Have them just do their Wakanda movies if you want. And like someone else was saying on social media, you'd make different movies for different people, and you'd probably be able to refine your audience that way. So if you want to make a Wakanda movie, you just have all purse puppies versus purse puppies, and then you start making movies with Euro people. And I was going to say with Euro people for Euro people, you know, the blonde people of the light. But really, if you make movies with you know, some Nordic stereotype type of Swedish bikini team characters, those movies really appeal to the world for whatever reason. I guess people really love seeing good looking blondes on screen, and at one time Hollywood knew that, but then they started to make things woke, diverse, and lame. Somehow I don't think my suggestion would fly. Hey Hollywood, we want whiter movies. Can we get that? And just like the needle scratch, the look on their face, and the guy getting thrown out the second story window, which is probably what would happen. Like, you know, those movies would make money. Yeah, but it's the wrong kind of crowd. You're on the wrong side of history, you bigot. I want to see more blonde-haired, blue-eyed people in movies. Can I get that? Literally Hitler. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Check out subscribe to our Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute for the videos that don't make it out on YouTube, which honestly, as I think about this one, I don't know if I said too many hot words. I said gay a lot. I'm not sure if the algorithm will pick that up. I didn't use it as a pejorative. I meant literally. BLT, L, whatever. See you guys next episode.